Dear Open Spacers, welcome to this interview. We're going to discuss a very important topic today. It's about green skills and skills for green jobs and how we can acquire them and where we can acquire them. Today, we're going to have a CEO of a BlueBenu company who will introduce us how she learned about the green skills and how she converted them in a company. Welcome, Kamila Kunrath. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kamila,
Thank you.
Could you please tell us when you decided to start your startup?
We started with BlueBenu in 2018. It was the moment in time right before National Geographic launched that edition about plastic pollution. It was a couple of months before that. And it was kind of a coincidence because my co-founder, she went to the cinema and watched a documentary about the impact of human activities in marine ecosystems. And we were so shocked about that she came to me and said, like, what can we do about it? You know, how can we join our skills and develop something that could actually contribute to this problem, which is like global plastic pollution. So the initial idea was really driven by this will of creating something that could create some sort of impact, that could provide a solution for impact. We found that the best strategy at the time was to contact our close friends, people that we knew, and that had the skills and capabilities that could help us to tackle this challenge. And this is how we formed the first pool of founders of the company. It was really a close circle of people that we knew from university. We were all studying at the TU at the time, the Technical University of Denmark. And environmental engineering, chemistry, business development, material science. How can we build our capabilities into a business, into a solution that could actually create some sort of value?
But what exactly BlueBenu offers? What is your product and what is your service?
Okay, so yes, we focus on HTL, which is called hydrothermal liquefaction of waste. Is a technology that was initially thought and used for producing biofuels from biomass, from processing waste from agricultural production into biofuels. And it's a study, until now, it's a study like that, you know, as a technology for producing biofuels. But in theory, the chemistry works that it would also allow, the technology is flexible enough that allows what is called the polymerization. So breaking down polymeric molecules into smaller molecules, right? And then we thought, why not use this technology, adapt it to the purpose of recycling plastics, which is such a huge problem. And diving a little bit further into that, we also saw that there was actually a huge potential in looking into fractions of waste that didn't have any solution. So materials that couldn't be recycled by traditional mechanical recycling, they were not part of the system. They are just considered waste. And the fraction of this waste that is completely neglected is so massive that we thought it was really worthwhile investing into developing this technology, given the potential it could provide for creating
where everyone sees a crisis, you know, the plastic pollution and the plastic we use in massive quantities, you saw actually the business opportunity. And what was the most difficult part of setting up your own business?
Yes, the most difficult part of it was not setting the business per se. Setting the business was easy. The difficult part came after, because we were students and academics, and we didn't know much about business development. So, of course, we had great capabilities and a great team with amazing knowledge and so on. but we had really to find mechanisms that would support developing a company in its very early stages. So R&D, deep tech, super research intensive company as we are, how can we move it? How can we finance it? How can we find the right partners that can help us to build this in a larger, broader scale? And it took us some time. And I think that was the greatest challenge that we have and that we still have, is trying to find the right people at the right time in the right place that can actually help us to move this idea forward and are committed enough into looking not only on the financials that a business or a startup or a company can provide, but especially in the impact and the technology development part of it.
So practically, you founded a business that takes plastic and convert it in something else, right? That recycles
Sorry?
the plastic. No, your business is providing solution for recycling the plastic material, right? And you
Yes,
said that
so we work in the sector of waste management.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with waste management, specifically with plastics, you know. So waste management is a field that in itself is a little bit of neglected, a little bit of something that nobody really wants to talk about. And there is a lot of challenges there, and there is a lot of opportunities also there. So we work in how to create a circular economy out of the problem of plastic pollution. We have the technology as a central part of it, as the core aspect of our company, but we look throughout the value chain. Where can we help to create sustainable business practices? How can we connect different actors in the value chain? And how can we provide solutions that goes beyond our specific technology development, but in consolidating really a circular economy for the plastic waste, especially this fraction that currently is neglected, is either incinerated or landfilled, and that's really not optimal.
But you've mentioned, let's say that the very difficult moment for your business to go forward is to find people, and to find people, I guess, with the right skills. And in general, you know, I imagine that in order to sell your product, you need people to understand the importance of recycling and the importance of the plastic pollution. So, Kamila, what do you think? When is the right place to learn green skills? Is it in formal education? Is it in school? Or does it come from family? Or where and when is the right moment to get them?
So this goes a little bit in parallel with my research study line, which is developing sustainable mindsets in education. And in this aspect, I might be really biased on that, because I do believe that education is the core actor in this, you know, and it is the space where you can learn new skills and learn new ideas and test it out in a safe environment, have the opportunity to fail, you know, to learn from multiple interactions. So the right place, the right time is as soon as possible. And I can see from my research that I've been talking with a lot of people that currently work with sustainable projects in management, in companies, and so on. And the journey that they took there was pretty much individual, and the motivations very often comes from their background and their families. So because they followed the example of their parents and the insights that they had in their childhood, they learned to think critically about the systems that we have implemented today, and they came up with their own thoughts about sustainability and the importance of it in their daily practice. And this led them into working with sustainable projects. But the way that I see is that it doesn't need to be like that. And there is a lot of new efforts in education, both primary, gymnasium, and also in higher education, that are now looking into implementing pedagogic approaches and really fostering a critical thinking in terms of sustainability and the impacts that we create with our tasks, with the practice, with our habits and everything. So having these spaces consolidated in education gives opportunity to everybody. Even if you don't have the examples from home, you can go to your school or to your university and you can learn the terminologies, the aspects, the impact, what are the areas that surround sustainability in all the three spheres that it encompasses. So both environmental, economic, social aspects that are somehow influenced by your practice, your daily life, and your choices.
Yeah, so it's interesting you're saying that it's not only about like green awareness or awareness about the environment, but it's also critical thinking. It's also understanding the world around us. So it's much broader actually, but with a special focus, let's say, on the environment and climate change, right?
Yes, exactly. And eco-literacy is so important, to understand the basic concepts of it, because it just gives you tools to think about solutions, to think about your own ways of viewing, or to develop your own thoughts and to come up with why is it important, and really to have internal motivation to bring it into your work, into your life, into your relations.
Kamila, what about entrepreneurship skills? Have you get any counseling in the school or in the university about how to start a business? Do you think it's important to get this kind of counseling and to get this kind of knowledge in formal education system?
I personally didn't have any experience with formal education in entrepreneurship. I know here in Denmark there is more and more initiatives, even master degrees and everything around these lines. But when we started the company, I had very little experience with entrepreneurship myself. And it was a crazy journey. It was also very constructive in a way, because I learned so many new fields and so many new areas of knowledge that I had no idea before: how to manage a company, how to manage interns, HR, business development and financials, and all sorts of different areas that was pretty different from my technical degrees, from my area of study. So I think in a way it is very important that we have at least the opportunity during education to have contact with this, if you with entrepreneurship. So if you are if you eventually decide to become an entrepreneur yourself, you have the basic tools, or you know where to look into for more for more information. Fortunately, here in Denmark, there is so many programs and the ecosystem is really rich. So this was part of our company since day one. We needed mentoring because we didn't know how to be entrepreneurs. So when we came up with the idea of what did we want to develop, the first step was, okay, let's set up a startup company and look for help, because the ecosystem was really out there and we benefit so much from that. We learn everything from scratch.
But still, it was a big jump, I guess, from science, from academic background to enterprises, was it?
It was a completely new world. It was a crazy journey, and I'm really glad I did it. It was a wild shot, and I'm really glad I did it because it really consolidates my professional capabilities now, and I see myself so much more apt to deal with the problems of the world, let's say, and to take decisions. I take like entrepreneurial mindset in a way into my daily work and into everything that I do. It just became part of it just becomes part of who you are, I guess. And it's really interesting.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. So just to remind to our followers that this is an interview with Kamila Kunrath, who is a CEO of a company that decided to leverage from the pollution and saw a really business opportunity there. My last question to you would be, Kamila, imagine that we have in our audience some people that might listen to us and think of setting up their own green business. What would you recommend to them? Where to start and what to do?
Okay, my recommendation is really simple. If you have an idea that you think is worth trying, doesn't matter if it's big or small, if it's crazy, if it's very boring, it's up to you, you know. If you think it's interesting to spend your time on it, do it. And do it for the sake of the planet, because green skills are very much necessary and green business are very much hype right now, but also do it for the sake of yourself, because the journey is so intense and so worth that you won't regret it. Even if it fails, it doesn't need to succeed, you know, it's not about that. It's about taking the chance and seeing how it goes and enjoying the journey. And I promise you, you won't regret it.
Thanks a lot, Kamila. Thanks. I think this is very inspiring and very, good call for action, actually. So today we had this interview with Kamila Kunrath, a CEO of the BlueBenu. If you have any question to Kamila, just post them in the comment section below and Kamila will reply to you. Thank you so much, Kamila.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My
and
pleasure.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.